Folks, after a contentious several days, United States Senate, the Republican majority there passed by a 51-50 vote. Donald Trump's big, ugly, dangerous bill. They call it the big, beautiful bill, but the reality is when you look at what it does, that is simply not the case. Democrats forced an entire reading of this particular bill. 3 Republicans voted against the bill. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky, Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Senator Susan Collins of Maine, but the critical vote, Senator Lisa Murkowski of Alaska voted for the bill because of things that she got for her state of Alaska. It now goes to the United States House, where they have to reconcile the Senate changes. It previously passed the House. More than likely, it is going to pass. Donald Trump will sign it into law. This is a hugely unpopular bill. Even the Fox News poll shows nearly 60% of Americans against this bill. Republicans don't care because Donald Trump wants it. Joining us right now is Ken Martin. He is the chair of the Democratic National Committee. Glad to have you back on the show, Chairman Martin. First and foremost, it was a battle there in the Senate and now goes to the House. But I got to ask you this here because I had a problem with this the other day. Senator John Fetterman of Pennsylvania, Democrat, was complaining that he was missing his beach time with his family, and this is just a waste that Democrats are doing. He's going to vote no. That makes no sense to me. My deal is, hey, man, you're getting paid to be there. Stay there. Meet with those Republicans. Try to convince them to vote against it. This is an all hands on deck. This ain't time to be going to the beach. This is about cuts that are going to impact low-income people, working-class people, food, Medicaid. You need everybody in your party fighting against this.
Well, absolutely. And first off, Roland, thanks for having me on tonight. And you're absolutely right. We need everyone in this fight right now at this moment. This is one of the most damaging bills that we've seen in over a half a century. As you mentioned, it's one of the most unpopular bills. But unfortunately, the damage it's going to do to communities far and wide is tremendous. And it requires every one of us to do our damn job, to show up. You know, whether you're a member of the Senate, whether you're a member of the House, whether you're elected at all, everyone right now should be rising up in unison with one voice saying what we're seeing out of Congress right now is unacceptable. And so, you know, I have no patience for Democrats who serve in any elected office right now in this moment when there are so many lives that are going to be shattered as a consequence of this big, ugly, dangerous bill, as you called it. It requires all of us to do everything we can right now to stop it dead in its tracks.
When you start breaking this thing down, Republicans keep saying, oh, no, we're not cutting Medicaid. Their own Senator Tom Tillis broke it down on the floor saying that's a lie. They are indeed cutting Medicaid. And what I don't understand, look, I'm purposely wearing this shirt right here. This is the Yellow Jackets, West Virginia State University. It's at HBCU. I was there in Charleston, West Virginia. West Virginia is one of those states where you have a lot of, I just cut to the chase, broke, illiterate, bad health, largely white conservatives. They keep voting for Republicans, voting against their interests. Places like West Virginia are going to be hurt by this bill. Alabama, where you got 2 Republican senators, they're going to be hurt by this bill. Mississippi, hurt by this bill. South Carolina, hurt by this bill. But those Republican senators don't care. They're voting for the massive tax cuts for the rich and corporations.
Well, that's exactly right, Roland. And look, this is, I call it the big, ugly betrayal. The reality is the Republicans have betrayed the American people. I want you to think about this as it relates to working people in this country. And we know this from the national building trades who came out opposed to this. This bill is going to cost 1.75 million jobs. This is one of the biggest job killing bills we've seen in recent memory. As it relates to seniors, they betrayed our seniors. Over a quarter of nursing homes are actually going to close because of this bill. They betrayed our children. We know that there are many children out there who rely on nutrition programs, who are starving already, who are going to starve even more because Republicans have betrayed them. They betrayed our seniors. Think about this. Over a quarter of nursing homes in this country right now, as I mentioned, are going to close down. They have betrayed the disabled in this country. 17 million people are going to be kicked off of their health insurance, off of health care. Many of those folks are disabled. They betrayed rural communities. 300 hospitals, many of them in rural communities, are going to close down, and they betrayed the Black community. 40% of the Black community receives Medicaid in some form, and they're going to be kicked off of their health care. 2/3 of births in the Black community are provided with some form of Medicaid. And of course, that's going to be impacted now. So I say all of this because it has dramatic impacts all throughout this country, in rural communities and suburban communities and urban communities across the country. This is going to be a devastating bill. And that's why you see widespread opposition. It's not just Democrats who are opposed or independent voters. It's even Republican voters. This is the most unpopular bill in the history of this country, and we still have time to defeat it. If folks want to get involved right now in helping the Democratic Party defeat this bill, you can text SUMMER, SUMMER, to 43367 and join us in our efforts to organize against this destructive bill.
One of the things that jumps out, I'm a firm believer in not wasting energy, not wasting time. First, before I get to that, the point that you just made there, the electricians in this country, IBEW, go to my iPad, Elise, they released their statement blasting this bill, talking about how it's going to hurt them. Same thing. You mentioned the National North America Building Trades Union. But let me just go ahead and cut to the chase here, Chairman Martin. A whole bunch of the white men in these unions, they voted for Trump. They voted for Trump because they said they were down with MAGA. And I keep making this point that, listen, Democrats are going to have some real, frank, honest conversations with white people in this country who vote against their interests. Now, as an African-American, conservatives love telling me, I don't understand, what have black people gotten from Democrats in the last 60 years? You voting against your own interests. 70% of the people who voted in the last election, white Americans. And these folks, steel workers, build trade unions, electricians, all sitting there going, Trump, Trump, Trump. Now they're crying because all of those construction jobs for clean energy, those multi-million-dollar plants that looking to build, these companies are saying we're not going to build them now because we don't have any certainty from the federal government. So when it comes to EVs, when it comes to solar technology created by Americans, and they keep saying we don't want China to dominate, this is going to guarantee China to dominate. How do you tell your party, your members in the House, in the Senate, on the state level, on the county, on the city level, that they're going to have to look some folk in the eye that look like you and not me and say, why do you keep voting against your interests when we're the ones, meaning Democrats, who are passing the bills that actually affect their lives for the better?
Well, I think you said it best. We got to be honest and have those honest conversations, because guess what? Donald Trump promised those very same voters that you're talking about that he was going to improve their lives. He was going to make their lives more affordable. It was actually going to make a difference in their communities. And he's done none of that. Actually, this bill, he is pushing forward to help his already rich friends, the richest people in this country, who are going to benefit from massive tax breaks at the expense of working people, at the expense of people who voted for Donald Trump, who thought that he actually had their best interests in mind, who thought that he would actually deliver for their families and for their communities. He's done none of that. He is essentially making your life much more difficult, all to give a tax break to those who already have so much in our communities and so much in society. It's just plain wrong. And we do have to. You're absolutely right. There are many people who are in this country who have and continue to vote against their own economic self-interest. And let me tell you something. You know what? We can continue to talk until we're blue in the face, but unfortunately, these very people who are going to be impacted, their lives are going to be devastated. And hopefully they start to wake up and they look in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe it wasn't the right thing for us to vote for Donald Trump and these Republicans who've shown no interest in any step of the way here. And it's not just Donald Trump, by the way. It's all of the Republicans who voted for this, which is almost every single one of them voted against their constituents. And you can be damn sure that we're going to remind those constituents in every Republican congressional district and in every Republican Senate race next year, we're going to remind their constituents that their member of Congress or their member in the U.S. Senate voted against them and their families.
So right now, I got a couple more minutes with you. So right now, in terms of the plan, what I say to folks, it's the waste of energy right now if you're trying to call your Democratic officials. Goes to the House. You got about 12 to 17 House seats that are purple or places that Biden won. Are y'all targeting those members? Are you saying Because look, it barely passed the House the first time. So what is the strategy here? What are you saying to people how they should be channeling their energy? Who are the 5 or 10 Republican House members that people should be calling and emailing and hitting right now saying, don't you dare vote for this bill? Do y'all have the names?
Well, listen, if you text SUMMER, SUMMER to 43367, you sign up to help us right now because we're targeting 35 congressional districts right now to make sure that we're increasing the pressure on those vulnerable Republicans. And the thing is, Roland, you know, where we started out probably with a more a smaller and narrower list of targets at the beginning of this year, we have been able to expand out that map because we're seeing there's wind at our back right now that this bill is highly unpopular. And of course, as a result of us overperforming, it means that we can actually focus our efforts on more Republicans around the country. 35 Republicans right now are in vulnerable districts, and we want to put all of our effort into turning the pressure up in those districts to make sure that they get the message that, you know what, you better vote the right way on this, because if you don't, we're coming for your job and we're going to boot you out of your out of office.
So I said 13 to 17. So you're saying there are 35 Republican House seats that y'all are targeting to get them to vote no against this bill.
That's right.
And so just for folks to know, if you text SUMMER to 43367, give me a second so I can show this because I literally just did it. So hold on one second. And so this is, if you go 43367, this is the message you're going to get back. DNC headquarters, thanks for signing up for periodic updates about our work. Keep an eye on your inbox for more soon. And then it says, thank you for stepping up to join organizing SUMMER. Sign up for our kickoff on Wednesday, July 2nd. Only thing I would suggest, Chair, is that message is changed saying stop the big, ugly, dangerous bill right now. That way it's a lot more immediate language. That's just me if I'm messaging, I'm probably going to be a little bit more specific and not general.
Well, that's what I like about you, Roland. I appreciate the good advice there. But nonetheless, this will get you involved in our efforts to actually fight against this bill and to make sure that we're turning up the pressure on these Republicans. Don't believe all the pundits. This is not a done deal yet. But the Republicans in the Senate certainly fell in line. We have an opportunity to defeat this in the House right now. So get involved. Roll up your sleeves. If you actually want to see this bill defeated, we still have time to do it. Please join us in our efforts.
Chairman Ken Martin, DNC, we surely appreciate it. Look forward to having you back. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Roland.
Folks, got to go.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.